Let's hope that this is working. I'm running all over this hotel to get this connection, and this might not be. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go. Okay, we're here. We're live.
Yo.
Let's see. Oh, my brother!
Yo, listen. I
Yay!
feel I
Sorry,
feel
guys.
I feel dumb. You know what happened, right?
I think it was my fault.
Nah, me and DJ was on the phone before the video started and we never hung up.
Oh,
No,
wow.
So I could hear him, but I heard him on the phone call. So I was just listening like, damn, why can't they hear me? But we got it.
well, I love you guys. I'm gonna let you talk, and I'm DJ. What an honor! What a pleasure! Like
Word.
I'm leaving that dinner, and I'm going in my room to sit and listen, and I'm gonna go out on the balcony and just show the waves. And I'm just honored to meet and to listen and to be with you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Eden.
Thank you, Jarrod. I love you.
I love you too. I'll blow you one back. DJ, that was for her, not you, bro. What's going on, my guy? Let's dive into the thing, man. First of all, like, I am extremely excited. What is trying to say? Caught you guys last week by chance. I'm so happy I did. What a good vibe you guys got going on. Happy to feel the vibrations. Likewise, we're gonna send out a lot of love, a lot of positive energy, a lot of growth, man. This guy DJ, my guy DJ Verrett, we got with us tonight, Mr. Ghostloke himself, is an inspiration, man. Nothing short of. We all linked and got together from what I call the chatty house. We go in there and you could talk, have conversations with people. And from that space, we grew into some beautiful relationships. And, you know, this man that I called on a whim earlier this week to come through and just chop it up with us and have some fun, man, while Eden sets the ambiance, bro. So go ahead, intro yourself, man. How are you? Tell the people who you are, what you got going on. Let's rock it.
Hey, everybody. My name is DJ Verrett, a.k.a. Ghostloke. Life is good, man. Life is good. Got no complaints, except for one, not enough time in the day. But I'm grateful. You know, I want to thank you for inviting me, you and Eden for inviting me here, and to hopefully carry a strong message and share my life with you guys and the things I've accomplished since I've been with this S right here, you know, and yeah, life is good. It's beautiful. Not as beautiful as what Eden is walking through right now, but it's all to the good. And everybody, thank you guys for joining. And man, I got
Luis
life.
said hi. What's up, Luis?
What's up, Luis? What's going on? Well, I'm gonna break my anonymity.
Oh, go ahead, bro. You break your anonymity, whatever the word is.
Man, my life is an open book. So if those who are watching and listening, I am I'm from Los Angeles, California. I was born and raised in Harbor City, Long Beach area. The firstborn of my mother. You know, I grew up in the projects and had a good life. They were into this new thing in the early '80s, and by me not having no point of reference and me wanting to have that acceptance, companionship, and understanding, what happened was I joined that fraternity, dog. I joined the fraternity, you know, the neighborhood fraternity, and I became. They taught me a trade, And that trade took me to places where I wanted to go, but then it took me to places where I didn't want to go.
Right. Um, yeah, this year. I was waiting for the audio. Shit you not. Right? It was the first audio book that I've ever listened to in one setting, right?
Mm,
From beginning to end, man. I listened to it all day one day and all day the next day. And I really resonated with a lot of it, man. And I called you as soon as I was finished, right? What's it say? It's the
yeah.
recovery management. I just happened. Yeah, that's for sure. That's what we on. You know, that whole book, bro, resonated with me from beginning to end, man. I laughed, I cried, I felt inspired. And after that, you know, we had this platform. So I just wanted you to come in here and break it down, man. Like, because you broke the story of recovery and battling adversity down so perfectly, right? To your introduction into the drug world, to being arrested, finding yourself within the confines of the federal prison system, to come out as a free man and really build upon that, bro. So
Mm.
as a young man like me, you know, take me through that beginning. I know you dropped in the book, you talked about how when you were a kid, you were the leader of the pack. Like, how did
Yeah.
that feel, bro? We gonna get busy, y'all. Y'all just rock
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, man. That's how I got this name right here. I'm gonna show you. That's how I got that name, Ghost. Casper the Ghost, was because when I was growing up, I was I looked different. I felt different. So being teased. Because for one thing, the words that I was called growing up uh, weren't really choice names for a little child. So I was wearing this Casper the Ghost T-shirt. As you see, I love wearing superhero T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? So one of the guys I looked up to in the neighborhood, I named him Bosco in the book. He looked at me and said, "That's going to be your name right there." And I looked at him and I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "That's going to be your name, Casper the Ghost. That's going to be your name." So he empowered me to embrace what I look like, because I, being black, but not, being, my skin is light, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
man, look at
So
me, bro. I understand.
exactly. So, being teased from there, so he empowered me. So that day I became, I wanted status amongst my fellows, as you can say. So we would race every week when we were kids, and the one who won the race was called the leader of the pack. And no one, everybody followed the leader of the pack no matter what for that 7 days. And this day, I I was determined to win the race, and I did. And so I got acceptance. I'm called a leader now. Just like Bosco in my book was the leader of his pack, I became the leader of my pack.
Word.
So it was like a sense of empowerment.
Man, that I think that's probably low key the way you described it in the book was like the first sign of maybe an addiction, because you had that
Mm,
feeling, right? You had that feeling of, oh man, these guys over here are leading their pack. Now I'm the leader of mine. And I think, you
mm,
know, the next piece in that, right? Because I mean, I don't want to tell the story too much, man. Because I do want people to support that book, bro, because I
mm.
believe in it that much. You know, how awesome it was.
I
But
poured my heart and soul into that right there, Jarrod. I poured my heart and soul into that book. Um, I, um, there was some stuff in there that um, I would have never told anybody in my life, but I
word,
know I did that, for a healing for myself and those who will read it, and also those who will listen to it, they will find their story or the similarities in it. And yeah, I cried too. I cried and I laughed and I said, you know, um, that's why I named it an inside job, because it's an inside job.
Right.
living life in a maze, and now I can live an amazing life.
My
So
God.
it was that journey, brother.
That's what's up, man. And we still on that journey. So as you became the leader of the pack, you know, that next phase was kind of, you know, the introduction to the drug game, right?
Yes, yes. You know, until that time, brother. That's funny. until un, Thank you very much.
Look at that.
There was
You got the phone operator voice,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I was That's funny. Let me stay focused. Let me stay focused. um, yeah.
Damn,
So
that's nuts.
until that time, brother, I was mowing lawns, collecting cans and stuff like that. So, my brother, he, not having no father figure, I bought him a bicycle lock for his 14th birthday. I was still 13 and he was 14, so because he was like 2 months older than me for his birthday, and he was like, I don't need. He said, thank you, but I don't need that. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like, you're gonna come spend the night over the weekend, and I said, okay. So, I went to go grab my bicycle, and he's like, leave your bicycle. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm gonna show you something. It was about 7 o'clock at nighttime. And he showed me something. I'm like, what's that? He said, some keys. I'm like, what are those two? He said, my car. I said, we're 14. You got a car? He was like, yeah, I got a car. And I trusted him. I felt grown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that day we went to Long Beach and we went to the house, to the back house where everybody my age was right there, right? And they were cutting this substance up. I didn't know what it was. So I figured he just paid $500 for a 1976, 1972 Monte Carlo, and you can't make $500 mowing
Collecting
lawns
golf
and,
balls,
and
right?
collecting golf balls and
Yeah.
cans. So I figured out what he was doing is that he was selling rock cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And they were about that big. I'm like, I thought were golf balls in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still a kid, I'm 13 years old, and he said, you want to make some money? And I said, I know how to make money by collecting cans and golf balls and mowing lawns.
And
He's
your
like,
man was like,
no,
nah, but this ain't no more cans and golf balls, buddy.
no. He said, man, showed me a wad of money. He said, I'm gonna cut this up and I'm gonna make this much money. Do you want in? And everything inside me, if anybody's listening, everything inside of me said, go home.
Mm.
Go home. But I'm amongst my fellows. I'm amongst my peers. I said, yeah, I had $27. I spent $25. That night, I made $800.
Mm.
It was
And
over.
it was just on to the races, bro.
It was over.
That's dope. You say that though, fam. Like that intuition kicked in, right? And told you, man, because I didn't nearly, get into the game to that depth. Like I did some stuff, man, and I damn sure ain't proud of. But that same feeling, right? So you were in the era that really won't cell phones, right? We had, the phones and whatnot.
Yeah, we
So
had beepers back
yeah,
then.
y'all had the beepers and the payphones. All our stuff was cell
Mm,
phones, right? So
yeah.
I remember the night that really got me sent. Man, I looked at my phone and that gut feeling was like, man, don't answer that. Don't
Mm,
answer that. And then that other side was like, nah, you can get the money. Like I already knew what time it was, from the person that was calling me, man.
mm.
And me answering that phone and acting against my inner self telling me not to, bro, I think like 4 months later, man, they picked me up in front of my parents' house. Like the most embarrassing time, dog. I was freshly 21. So
Mm-hmm.
2 years, you went 19, I went 21. My little brother was at the bus stop. People were driving back and forth to work. And man, I kind of laugh about it now because they had me on the front porch like I was Rick Ross. Like, man, they
Mm.
had man, cars after cars, and I'm standing out there in a
Oh
hoodie,
man,
like, oh my God, like what
man.
the hell just happened to me, man?
A
And
year later, Jarrod, I bought my first car. A year later, I was 14 years old. Well, that day when I made that $800, brother, they said, if you want to continue to do this, you got to be from the neighborhood. I said, I am from the neighborhood. And they were like, no, you have to be put on. I'm like, jumped in. I'm like, I'm not a fighter. You know, I don't ever remember getting into a fight. So they put me in a circle, but I held that money in my pocket for the love of money. I jumped the middle of the circle, and for 1 minute I fought, and next you know, I'm from the neighborhood. So a year later, dog, um, I bought my first car. It was a 1969. I'll send you a picture of it. A
word.
1969 Chevy Impala. I had front, back, side to side with McLean laces with a killer sound system in that thing. I couldn't even drive it. My older homeboy, when I say older homeboy, he was only 16 because he had the license. I was 14, and so he drove the car for me. I sat in the passenger seat, and I had to park the car on the other side of the project. So my
Somebody said
mother,
what color?
it was a marigold. It was marigold. It had a black top on it. I even had a chain steering wheel on the inside. You know, so I had to sit in the passenger seat because my older homeboy, who was 16, he had to drive the car for me. You
Oh,
know,
that's
and
nuts.
yeah,
Somebody also said it's hard to break the cycle of being simply a product of your environment. Yo, that's deep. That's
yes, yeah,
real
and that's true because when you live in a red line district,
deep.
which is low income, high crime,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard not to. But not everybody in my neighborhood did what I did. But
Mm-hmm.
it was way too many. But it was far too many that joined the fraternity. So what that was the day I took my first drink.
Mm-hmm.
Never drank alcohol. That, that was the first day I smoked a blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Never smoked anything before, and life looked life looked different after that. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yeah.
and from there, man, I took off. I took off running. They saw potential. What's up, Em? They saw potential in me. And from there, man, a year later, one of my homeboys named Marlon, we're 15, we're 15 years old. I got shot, and he got shot in the back of the head, and he died.
Oh man.
And then because this thing called rock cocaine, it created division, it created poverty, it created addiction, and it created a lot of violence in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And so people started clicking up neighborhoods because you got to remember at the time people were still breakdancing in the early
Yeah.
80s, you know. So people stopped breakdancing and start breaking down kilos of cocaine, you know what I'm saying? And it became very dangerous. See, the more money you get, the more dangerous life gets, right?
Right.
And and the ugly shit that comes with it. And I say Marlon Haynes because I keep his name alive because we were children when he got murdered. Um, but from there, man, I took off, and I would tell you my story. When you ask the questions, I'll tell you the story. But I took off, dog. I took off, and I moved. I left my mother's house at 15. I was only in the game for 2 years. I
Hey,
moved out.
damn, hold on. I'm gonna slow you down again, bro, because
Hmm.
I'm gonna take it back to one of the funny moments. I had to call you when I heard it, bro.
Hmm.
And not many people, I'm sure some people might know what this is or what what this space is when I say it. But let's talk about the candy lady in the neighborhood, bro.
Yeah, yeah. The candy lady in my neighborhood, she was a Hispanic lady with fiery red hair. She had a whole bunch of, she looked like Mr. T around the neck. She had a whole bunch of gold chains on. She sold candy and ices, you know, and licorice and, you know, just candy. And,
Word.
and she was a Hispanic woman again, you know, she's about 5 foot, 5 feet. And, you walk inside of her house and it's like statues of Jesus everywhere. The sweaty Jesus, the bloody Jesus, Jesus making the table as a boy, you know, the tortured Jesus, the healing Jesus. She had all kind of statues of Jesus in her house. But the fact of the matter is, she didn't only sell ices and candy. She
Damn.
also sold weed. She sold joints for $2. So you smoke a blunt at the candy lady's house, and then you go buy some candy. You know. So
Bam. So for
yeah,
everybody that don't know, the Candy Lady is like a nationwide staple in the hood, right? So when I heard you say it in the book, I just started instantly cracking up. Because I mean, I didn't necessarily grow up in the environment, but because of family, friends, and whatnot, right? We were all familiar with the house. So as a kid, we would pull up to the Candy Lady house and get the candy, but we'd
yeah,
always wonder why it was grown men in there. You feel me?
because they was
Then,
buying weed.
yeah, and then we got older. We're like, oh, this is what the Candy Lady selling. Like, man, you go
Yeah.
there, you get the weed, you get a shot, you can get a cigarette, and
Uh,
just keep it moving.
anything you can get one single cigarette, you know, and all that stuff, man. So when when those who listen, you know, they can read the book, but when they hear me narrating my own book and they hear that part about the candidate, they're gonna laugh. You
Yeah,
know, it's
oh, they're
pretty
gonna
pretty.
crack up now that they familiar with the Candy Lady, bro.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
had to call my cousin and say, "Hey, man, remember the Candy Lady?" Like, cause we in Florida, so our environments looked a lot different from
yeah,
California when we were growing up, man.
yeah,
And this
yeah.
lady had everything, bro.
Everything. She
Everything.
sold licorice for 1 cent. So
I think
you cannot go no 7-Eleven and buy some licorice for a penny. But at the candy lady, she taking all money. You know,
everything, bro. We go in there
everything.
with a few quarters, get a couple cigarettes.
That's it. That's it, man. And them thick ass, and she had thick plastic on her couch too. You know, so
Yeah.
she lived in the projects with us. You know, she had the big TVs and all that stuff because that's what the candy lady did. She was clocking dollars.
Hell
You
yeah,
know,
she was a part of the movement, man. All the
yeah,
dope boys knew the Candy Lady, man. It was just so funny to see how that transcended like time periods, right? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because even
yeah,
with our age difference, time kind of repeated itself. When you mentioned the Candy Lady, I was like, damn, I
mm,
had one of those.
yeah, yeah. It's funny, man. So
New hoodie. I like it. I like it.
yeah, 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 man. It's a book. It's not. It's the book that it's. I give you a detailed account of not of the subject matter,
Hmm.
the violence. It's not about that. It's about the choice that I didn't know I had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't know
no.
I had I didn't know I had a choice. So watching these guys survive in the streets, I became a copycat, like the wrong cats.
Right.
So make a long story short, what happened was that I started going out of town because it was this little bread that I'm getting out here and go that way with it, go east with it. So I sold my a half a kilo. I went out of town and I came back with $40,000.
Man, man's just getting plugged in.
My the game was changed after that because
Word.
I if because if I could make
Hey, look. So,
mm,
man, they don't know. So you got to break this down. Eden said how.
I couldn't hear you.
Eden said how.
How what?
How you came back with the 40 racks.
I took a half a kilo of cocaine. I went east with it. When I went east, I got off the T. Some of the young people may not know what that is. I flew out there. I sold 18 ounces for $2,200 a piece. In Los Angeles, I only paid $250 per ounce. So I went to
able to add that shit up.
So I came back with over $40,000, and I was 16 years old.
You know, it's so
And
wild about being young.
my life changed after that.
And then about being young, right? We're not thinking about the consequences of any of those actions. You know what I'm saying?
Just a reward.
Yeah, it's all reward. The money is here now. The women are here now. This is here now. And then and the old head told me, you know, after I got arrested, man, and he was like, man, all it is you trading one thing for years of your life. Like, how
Now,
many years are you willing to give up to get this? And, you know, I had never thought about it, right? And I still, like, it took me a while to get sober after I got released. But those words always stuck with me because I was like, damn, every action that I take, no matter what it is, man, I'm just trading. Like, you know, what is the bargaining tool that you're using? So
it's not discussed. That's not
nah,
even talked about.
because even the OGs, and like you said, in your neighborhood, they only showed you one aspect of it. Like, it was cool to be the leader of the pack. It was cool to bring the money, the cars, the girls, and just feel like you were on top of the world. But that led you to a point, man. I really want you to break that down because
I will.
we could glorify like a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and thinking back and having the laughs. But how did that end up for you?
Man, by doing that for a few years, you know, I didn't know what to do with it. And then I started to see my part in everything. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I come back with $250,000, you know, move money here, move money there. It wasn't about that no more. It lost its glamour to me in such a short amount of time, dog. So one day I'm sitting back drinking some Jack Daniels. I used to buy weapons off these white cats, these white dudes. They would be in a silver van, and they would come through the neighborhood and ask who want to buy some of these assault rifles, dirt cheap, you know. And who the hell are, you know? But they seem cool. They'll smoke a blunt with you, you know. They'll drink, so it must be cool. So there's probably the damn CIA, but we would buy assault rifles. I'm serious. We would buy assault rifles and all kind of dirt cheap guns. And so I had bought this 357. It was chrome, and I'm at home. I got $500,000. I'm 18 years old. What am I gonna do with it now?
Mm-hmm.
But seeing the damage I've caused, not only in my own neighborhood, but throughout small town America, I started to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt bad. So for some reason, it said just end it,
Mm.
just end it, because I was truly unhappy, and that's when my drinking progressed because I needed to forget what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Suppressing those feelings.
I needed to suppress the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
This shit not only affected you, it affected my entire family, but I didn't care. But then all of a sudden, it's like, why do you do this? So I had some hundreds, and I looked at Benjamin Franklin. And I said, I do this all for you. I do it all for you, Ben. And he just had this look on his face, like,
Like, I
you
don't
know,
give a fuck
I
about
don't
you,
give a fuck.
man.
I don't give a fuck about you. You dig what I'm saying? So I went to go put water in the bathtub. I think it was self-flagellation because I didn't turn cold water on.
Mm.
And I went and grabbed the pistol, and it said, just end it. I sat in the bathtub. That shit was hot. And I had Jack Daniels in one hand. Jack helped me forget. But this pistol would end it all. And I said, man, all I got to do is release the hammer
Mm.
like this. And the reason why I chose the bathtub, because it'd be easy to clean up. When
Mm-hmm.
somebody would find me in a couple of days, you know, that's why I chose the bathroom. But then before that bullet went into my mind, one thought came into my mind, and it said, "Don't kill your mom's only son."
Mm.
You know, don't kill your mom's only son.
So that thought, right? Oh, my fault. I mean, go ahead, bro. Finish your statement.
No, I just got, I was brought back to that moment right now,
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't, but I didn't know what was going to happen after that because I couldn't go on like this. I felt old on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? I've only been doing this for a few years, and I shouldn't feel like this. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this thing called a higher power came and intervened.
Mm.
This higher power is called the United States government.
Oh shit, man!
This higher power intervened called the United States government.
Hey man, low key, the government saved you.
The hard way.
A perspective, right?
So on February 6th, man, on February 6th, 1990, I gave my co-defendants 3 birds.
Mm-hmm.
This was going to be one of my last trips.
I gotta stop you, bro. You gotta explain what a bird is.
A bird.
You gotta think like demographics.
Okay. A bird is 36 ounces of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a kilo, but we call them birds because we let them fly. So
bro, you make negative shit sound so smooth. Like you gotta chill.
Yeah. So what happened was I gave them 3 birds because I said I'm gonna go make this quick 250,000 and I'm done. I already had like 150 in the house, so I'm gonna go get this 250,000 and I'll have close to $500,000 and I'm straight, right? And I'm gonna do something else. I got arrested. My co-defendants got popped with it, and they told the feds that I gave it to them, and the feds come to arrest me on February 6th, and it took me to 312 North Spring Street, which is the downtown district court in Los Angeles. And make a long story short, I got 3 co-defendants getting ready to tell on me. They took $147,000 out of my house, and make a long story short, Jay, I pled guilty to 20 years. I spent
And how old were you?
I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36.
And that's when you came home, 36. And that's the side of, man, addiction and those consequences nobody really talks about until you get into those spaces, man. And I remember when I first got arrested, we didn't get a paid attorney at first, man. And we had the little court-appointed lawyer. And I remember sitting with my mom. In his office. And he looked at me, man. I'm freshly 21, man. I had probably been 21 like 2 months. So this was in October of 2007. And he looked at me and he was like, man, if you get convicted, you could serve 60 years. Right? And my mom started crying. So me like looking, I'm doing math in my head. I'm like, man, I'll be 81 years old. Like, what the hell am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I sat in there, bro, and I held my shit together for a minute. But when I stood up, the reality of that hit me, right? Man, I got into the middle of, like, I laugh about all this shit now, of course. Like, but I got to the middle of the street and collapsed. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Just fell out. Because I couldn't imagine. I'm like, yo, y'all might as well just kill me. Like, over this shit, like, you might as well just take me out of here. Because coming home, how old are you now, DJ?
I'm 50.
50. Man, I lost mine. I held on to mine for a long ass time.
From that to this.
Hey, fam. Man, I'm about to ban you from my live, bro. What are you doing? Shit, man. Well, hell yeah, bro. That
Yeah.
part
So
of the that's part of the struggle ain't really spoken about, man. And within all of that, you found power and sobriety.
oh my
Right?
goodness, man, it was a long journey because you know it's like you got the United States of America versus Jarrod. You got the United States of government, all 50 states, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines versus Eden. You can't win, so that's why I took the 20 years and I continued my because I need to forget. Remember, it's 1990, and I don't get out until 2010.
Mm.
You know, so I'm a manipulator, all that stuff, man. So um, I've been in America's most notorious federal prisons, and I made it through. My defective characters kept me safe.
So you,
My connections of the fraternity that I was a part of kept me safe. You understand what I'm saying?
heck yeah.
So, so I walked the line. When you walk that line, they give you a pack of cigarettes and a knife. And I say, what I'm gonna do with this? I said, you may have to use it on somebody. You may have to use it on somebody because somebody would definitely use it on you.
Mm.
And you couldn't show any fear
Right.
because they could they could smell it.
Right.
And so I did that, Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Freeway Rick, that's my big homeboy right there. Um, Harry O or Michael Harris, which is the founder of Death Row Records. You know, he was
Mm.
that's the big homie also. These are my mentors. You know, I did time with the cats that blew up the World Trade, who attempted to blow up the World Trade, um, in 1993. You know, they wanted me to join the Brotherhood, and I said at the time, I'm like, nah, man, I'm a Crip. I ain't gonna join that. No, I'm not gonna join that. At the time, I've been in rides. I've been in the hole for 9 months.
Mm.
You know, all that.
Bro, 9 months in the hole. Like, of course, you talked about it in the book, but I spent a week in there. So as I was listening to you talk about it for 9 months, I was like, yo, that's fucking insane because, my 7 days, right? They didn't give me anything to read. I had nothing to write. I didn't have a clock to know what time it was. So the only way I could tell time is they gave me breakfast at like 5 in the morning. Then shower was at like 9. Lunch was at 12 or 1. Then dinner. Then I got my 1 hour of rec time where I could use the phone, right? And
No sunlight, dog.
For that week, man, and it's graphic shit too. Like for that week, I laughed, I cried, I tried to work out, and then I had a cellie who was like super institutionalized for like a day. Like, man, this this dude, man, I had to use the bathroom, bro, and he had his head by the toilet and wouldn't move. Like I was like, hey man, I gotta get here. He's like, nah, go ahead, young blood. And I was like, yo, this is not the place for me. Get me the hell out of here.
Nah, man. The whole where I spent 9 months in SHU was I'm not a big dude, so I can touch both walls without even extending my arms. I can cross it in two and a half steps. Um, one this thing called a higher power, I like to call it God, not the Bureau of Prisons or the United States government. I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. It's only March, late February, March. You're gonna let me out at the beginning of the new year. So no, tell them I did get sober my last couple of months when I was in prison. So, but I'll get to that part. So they brought a book cart out the closet, and it was the Encyclopedia Britannica. Jarrod, Eden, I read every volume of the encyclopedia. I traveled the planet in my tiny closet. I've helped build the Eiffel Tower. I traveled with Harriet Tubman. I marched with Martin Luther King. I helped negotiate with Napoleon the Louisiana Purchase. I did all this. I sat there with King Montezuma and said, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You don't know what's gonna happen."
Yeah, letting
you
the
know,
people off the boats, right?
yeah,
Bringing them on the
tell
island.
them to stay on that boat. Um, I did all this, and you know what, y'all, and you know what? I've been to all those places
My
when
guy
I was
Brett said
released.
respect.
Yeah, I've been in the Eiffel Tower, overlooking and remembering when I read about the Eiffel Tower and Gustavo Eiffel. I was in the shoe when I read, and now I'm sitting on the top of the Eiffel Tower, looking down at the Seine River. You know, I was there when they when the Mona Lisa was. I saw the Mona Lisa. It's only an 8 by 10, y'all. It ain't big. You know,
Word.
I saw it. I've been to Turkey. I've been in the Hagia Sophia. I've been to the pyramids. All this, what I've read in the encyclopedias, dog, I actually did it. Now, moving forward, one day, it's 16 years, 2 months. I'm on that brown again. I'm
What's
two
brown?
heroin.
Mm.
I'm on that brown again, right? I'm 210 pounds. I'm in the day room. I've been in prison half my life now. I'm a G now. I tell people what to do, right? Still scared little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I nodded out in the day room. And they say, "Hey, Ghost, wake up." Now, you got to understand that I'm surrounded by killers. I'm surrounded by killers. And these killers are saying, "He always been like that." Yeah, the homie Ghost has always been like that.
So your
Had a mo-
narrative was you was always like a druggie, is what they were trying to point out to you. Like, sorry for the negative connotation, but
yeah,
that's what they
yeah,
were trying to say you were.
yeah. I say,
Mm-hmm.
all I like to do is get loaded in politics. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's what I like to do is politic and set trip. And all that other stuff. I don't want to be a part of that other stuff. So what happened was that they said he always been like that, and which I always have. And from there, what happened was that hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second.
Yeah, take your time, bro. We got some time, man. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you all are enjoying it too. Let's see. Somebody said thank you for sharing your story. Bless your soul. Thank you for your story. Shit, man. Let's see. There's been so many deaths. 5 years booze free. That's what's up. Congrats.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I have a cat that he kept looking at me. He kept saying, "I'm the cat I rescued from the street. He was hungry, so I had to go feed his little ass." Yeah. So I'm in the day room, man, and I'm in the room by killers, dog, and they say he always been like that because all I do is buff iron politics, set trip, go on visits, manipulate, extort, and all that kind of stuff. Remember, I was a scared little boy, but this is what I built up to. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm not tough at all. I am not tough at all. I am not tough. You know, if you make me nervous, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth first. That means that's how scary I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tough at all. So it was all just a facade. Um, I went to sleep. I woke up at 4:32 and said, "God, if you real, help me. If you really real, help me." And the next morning, man, I went outside, put my hat on, put my black shades on. I used to have a thick goatee, had long hair. I'm the big homeboy now, from the little homeboy to the big homeboy. And I was smoking a cigarette. I rolled the cigarette up, and there's this white lady's walking across the yard. She was 70 years young. She had a pink box in her hand. She's walking with the counselor. She was wearing a white sweater with black elephants on it, some black slacks, some brown rimmed glasses with salt and pepper hair. Her name is Liz Tucker. She was from H&I, Hospitals and Institutions. She had a pink box stand. I'm sitting there smoking my cigarette saying, I ain't had a donut in damn near 17 years. It may be some Christians or something. So I followed her. I peeped through the window and I said, what's this? And she says, this is a recovery meeting. Come on in. I threw up the deuces because gangsters don't go to A&A. Gangsters don't go to no motherfucking recovery meetings. You think I'm going to be on the yard talking about, hey, Jarrod, hey, homie, I need to talk to you. I'm feeling hella vulnerable right now. I need to share it with you. Like, no.
I'm feeling hella vulnerable right now.
Yeah,
That's great.
I need to share it with you. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was this 70-year young grandmother told my story. She don't look nothing like me, but she's felt like me.
Mm-hmm.
She don't look like me, but she's felt like me. She convinced me that there is a solution. And I stuck ever since.
Mm-hmm.
That was July 2nd, 2005. I didn't get out until November 1st, 2000, the following year.
So how long you been sober?
16 years.
My God.
July 3rd, I just celebrated 16 years last month, July 3rd. But I'm still one drink away.
Always.
But you want to hear something funny, y'all? The day I got out, I called H&I. They came to pick me up. You know what's funny? Y'all told me about the people from Recovery Room. They talked about all kinds of stuff. They talked about, I've only seen Starbucks on commercials. I wanted to go to Starbucks, and I have the same drink. I still order the grande white chocolate mocha with no foam and no whipped cream. That's my favorite drink, and I've been drinking it since I've been back in America. Cell phones didn't exist, laptops didn't exist. God damn it, the 105 freeway didn't exist. But you know what I didn't know existed? Yoga pants. Women wear yoga pants. When I got out, man, they took me to a meeting called Marina Pacifica in Long Beach. Yeah, she did put the G in grandma. They took me to a meeting. I told Liz, no, you gotta take me over to Eden house. I'm just using you as an example, Eden, because I see your face. And you're like, no, we going to a meeting. They picked me up in a minivan with a bunch of weird looking people. And I said, you gotta take me over her house. I've been in prison 17 years and she's waiting on me. And they say, no, we're going to a meeting. So I go to a meeting and I don't know how to socialize. And then these two white vans pull up and a platoon of women in yoga pants get out. I'm thinking this is a 24-hour fitness. You know, you got to remember, I got a 405 flat bench. I'm strong as a bull. But I don't see no gym nowhere around here. So this parade of women wearing these yoga pants come in out the white vans. They walk toward me, past me, and I say, damn, she's a steak eating woman right there. She eats steak and potatoes. That's gonna be my baby mama right there. So Liz come out and say, I said, who? I said,
oh, man.
They're sober too? And she says, yeah, they're sober. They're in a rehab. She said, what are you talking about? I said, oh, she is right. I said, the one I looked at, she's right. She got hips. And Liz started laughing. She's like, you toxic and she toxic. I said, how you gonna go fishing in a sewage pond? Go up there and lead the meeting. So I went there, shared my feelings, right? Because people don't talk to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this grandmother did. So I went up there and said, it was 6:30, it was 7 o'clock. So I get up at the podium, there's 200 people in the room at 7 a.m. in the morning. You know what they say? I said, hey, my name Ghost. I got out of prison like 30 minutes ago. I just got to doing 17 years. Liz said I need a sponsor. I don't know what that is. I need a sponsor. And these men just approached me after the meeting. And I became a copycat. I copied the right cats.
It turned full circle.
These men raised me. These men raised me, Jarrod and Eden, and anybody that's listening. They raised me.
That's amazing you say that, because you started with the copycat phrase of looking at the guys from the streets. Like everybody that was surrounding you in the neighborhood, you know, you was copying those cats. So when you got to the podium and in the AA meeting, it was new for you, right? Like, so
Oh,
how
man.
did that transition?
Oh man, it was difficult because I had long hair. You know.
Right, man, I feel you, man.
Yeah,
I picked up what you left, bro.
Yeah, man, my hair used to come down to here. I had really. I seen some pictures. My hair used to come. You know, they're like, don't. Some cases call me Samson. You know, like don't cut your hair, your strength's gonna go. You know, but I didn't want that shit no more. So I twirled Verizon wireless signs for a living. I went back to high school at 38. I graduated high school at 38 because those men and Liz told me to. I crossed the stage with a bunch of 18-year-olds, and I'm 20 years older than all of them. You know, I went to West LA Community College. I went and got a degree. I'm twirling Verizon wireless signs. I go to meetings. I go home. Go to school. Go to meetings. Twirl Verizon wireless signs. Go home. Make coffee at the meetings. Go to school. Go home. And all of a sudden, I was at a meeting, and this people walked up to me and said, "Do you think you could play a convict?" I start laughing. I said, "Maybe." I think so. So they
know who I am, right?
Yeah, I said, "Well, we work on this TV show," and they were like, "We could use you." So, make a long story short, I worked on the show for 3 years. They blessed me. I worked with LL Cool J, you know, and TV when they shoot the last episode on any show, it's called you know, tequila, you know, the martini, you know, and it's like everybody's happy, and you know, Todd's a real cool cat. Charlie Hunman too, and Ron Perlman, really solid cats, you know, because they're playing convicts, but they would always ask me questions because you know they don't know, they're actors, you know,
Right.
they have to act tough, you know. We had to do that shit, but I'm like, I hold no judgment, but that was their job. So it's like, hey, we're going for drinks. I'm like, I don't drink. Like if I start taking, I'm gonna take all your shit from you. I mean, I'm gonna extort you, Charlie. You know, stuff like this, joking way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I'm working on this TV show called Wizards of Waverly, and this little girl, she's standing on the side of me, like right here, and she's singing. And I turn to her. No, I don't watch Disney shows. So this little girl behind me. She says, I say, you got a good voice on you. I think you should be a singer. I didn't know it was Selena Gomez. And she said, really? I'm like, yeah, really. I think you should. And I said, well, okay. I said, they're calling me back. I'm not knowing. Don't call the comeback. That's funny. I don't know that it's Selena Gomez because I don't watch Disney shows. So I went back into my position because I was playing a rocker. You know what I'm saying? And I crochet too. So in between sets, I'll be crocheting like hats and shit like that. And she said, DJ, you're different. I'm like, what do you mean? So you're sitting back crocheting. Do you know who I am? I said, no, but I know you got a good voice. And she said, this is my show. I said, what do you mean your show? So I'm the star of the show. I said, okay, congratulations.
Oh shit.
Sometimes I do. But here we go.
You walk around barefoot.
But here you go right here. I was invited to the Hollywood Christmas Parade in 2008. I'm on a float waving at people. On Christmas Eve, if anybody has ever heard of the Hollywood Christmas Parade, it's on Hollywood Boulevard. The street is a long, big ass red carpet, and I'm waving at people. I've seen some pictures of that too. You'll laugh. I'm waving at cats. I'm still twirling Verizon wireless signs. I'm working in between. You know, I'm still doing my stuff because I like money. You know, I like to. You know, I'm a go getter. You know, that Verizon wireless money. It wasn't a sign. It was okay. I did this shit on weekends, and my PO was watching it. He called me on my little flip phone when we went back to the green room. I said, "Don't worry, I'll make my curfew." He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm at a parade, Christmas parade." He said, "Come see me Monday morning." I went to go see him Monday morning. He said, "You're a waste of my time." I said, "What do you mean?" See, I never talked about you guys. I never talked about I was sober. See, on my prison file
Mm-hmm.
and what he saw in front of him was two different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, make a long story short, on Christmas Eve, remember I got out a year before.
Right.
Christmas Eve of 2008, I went back to court. The prosecutor, the judge said, "Continue to do God's work. Is there any objection from the prosecutor?" The prosecutor said, "No, no, keep doing God's work, Mr. Verrett." They terminated my paper 4 years early. I was a free man.
That's what's up, bro. Hell
But
yeah.
but you know what happened?
What's up?
I didn't need that program no more. My disease tell me you don't need them no more. They serve their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at home one day on Christmas Eve, the same day I got my paper, and I'm sitting there looking at it, reading it. I had the symbol on the back of my car. If there's any newcomers listening, I want you to hear this part. If there's anybody that knows somebody that's struggling with this, somebody new knocked on my door. My neighbor knocked on my door on Christmas Eve of 2008 and said, "Is that your car?" It was at 10 o'clock at nighttime. And I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Because I don't want to drink and use no more.
Mm.
And you're supposed to help me."
Mm.
He said, "I don't want to drink and use anymore. You're supposed to help me."
How can I be of service to you?
He said, "There's a meeting called Stone Cold Sober. Would you please take me?" At 11 p.m. and I took him. That new person saved my life and my recovery. Made me think about, because I got a few coins in the bank, don't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's my recovery, because those 12 steps gave me a life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it goes back to my book, Jarrod. It goes back to, I have a choice.
Right.
I've always had a choice. I got distracted by other things. Squirrel, that kind of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Squirrel.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I get distracted, right? But I ain't gonna tell you too much about what happened next, because that's in my next book,
Word.
you know.
Yeah.
But
I can't wait.
yeah, make a long story short, I traveled the world. Everything I read in encyclopedias, I got a chance to travel. I got my passport. I've been to a bunch of spots. I speak a lot. I'm grateful for that. I got married. I got divorced too. But you know what? I got two beautiful twin daughters out the
Beautiful.
deal.
Beautiful.
7-year-old twin girls out the deal. I am, Jarrod, don't take this personal, but I am one of the greatest fathers on the planet Earth. Just
Hey,
like you,
man.
my brother.
Now we got to fight, bro.
Yeah, that's what we are. That's what we are, brother. I
That's
love
it.
you. I love you, Jarrod,
I love you
because
too, brother.
every time I talk to you, you are at a baseball park watching your babies. When you talk to me, I'm breathing hard because I'm chasing 7-year-olds how to ride bicycles, you know. But that's what life is like now. So I wrote an inside job as a healing tool, as a point of reference, as a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about everything that happened, because that's the story, but the lifeblood of this book is how I overcame those adversities and how I abandoned the life my thinking created so I can live the life my soul intends me to live. We are supposed to live the quality of life that we are now living.
That's right. That's right. And that story within itself, man, broke so many barriers, bro. Like I didn't even touch on this piece, but as you started down the father path, man, I remember one part in the book, because we talk about suppressing our feelings, right? And especially when you're in jails and institutions, you know, people tell you, man, because you gotta be hard. Like, it ain't no crying, it's none of that shit. But you broke down, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to talk about, is the space where your niece came to visit you in the middle of the day room, bro, and she didn't want to let go. And man, all I could imagine, you know what I'm saying, is being, because I didn't have kids, you know, thank God, when I was doing my time, bro. But when I was listening to it, bro, I started crying. I was like, oh no.
That was a lot of takes on that one right there. Yeah, I just turned 30, Eden, and everybody else. I just turned 30. I spent all of my 20s in prison. And I haven't seen my mom in a long time, my sisters in a long time. So my sister had 3 children, and her youngest child, she was 4 years old. She's a little girl named Tiara. And I've only talked to them. They only see me in pictures. They never actually touched Uncle, you know. And so they came in, and as soon as I walked out into the visiting room, she ran to me, Uncle. And I picked her up. I'm like, hey, this is me. And she was like, I said, yeah, I'm real. I'm real. You know, I'm real. So I gave my mother a hug, my sister a hug, my nephews a hug. And we got to talking and stuff like that and did all that stuff, right? But now visiting is getting ready to end now. Now you got to understand that I've never cried. When they gave me that 20 years, I didn't cry, you know. But when it's time to say bye to a 4-year-old, and she said, no, I'm staying. And I said, no, baby, you got to go. No, I'm staying. I said, no, you got to go, baby. Why? I said, because you can't stay. Why? I said, no, I'm staying. And then it started coming out, and I'm like, oh my goodness. All this reputation, she getting ready to destroy this reputation I done built, you know. And I'm trying my best, and she's like, Uncle, and she grabbed me around my neck, and she's like, I'm staying with you, and I'm like, and I'm trying to pry her off, and then my breathing is changing, my eyes are getting hot because I'm getting ready to start crying, you know, and I gotta hold it because these other convicts are looking at me. And they're gonna spread the word in the yard that the homie Ghost, big bad Ghost, was crying in the visiting room. And I'm like trying to, you know, so I held her back, and I was like, check this out. Listen to what your mother's telling you. You have to go. And I gave it to her. I gave it to my sister, and I said, I love you. And when she was leaving the room, she turned back and said, that's my uncle, and I love him. Got me right there. So the CO, everybody's looking, right? And I realized that that's why kids are always grabbing their dad's face. That they're real. We're real. That unconditional love. I felt, Jarrod, that I'm capable, even though where I was, that this unconditional love that this child has given me had cracked the wall around my emotions. And she said that I'm real, and that I'm capable of being loved. So when I walked out into the dressing room, because you know, when you walk out the visiting room, what they do is they strip search you. The CO said, "Go." It's called agape, Jeff. The CO said, "Go ahead and sit down. Compose yourself. I just broke down crying. I'm talking
Mm,
about where snot come out your nose. I don't know if you guys ever experienced
yeah,
that,
a good
where it,
sloppy one.
yeah, it comes from your lower gut, and you just
Yeah.
make a you make a noise like, and but you try to suppress the noise because you don't want
Yeah.
nobody hearing it, and
Start
then give you,
shaking and shit.
yes, yes. I'm talking about where your throat hurts.
Yeah, buddy.
That happened to me on my 30th birthday, and but you know what? I had moments to compose myself. My eyes were swollen, my nose was red. I put my black glasses on, and I walked up on the yard like nothing's wrong.
Mm.
I went and grabbed me 2 blunts, a gallon of wine. I went to the bleachers on the yard, poured myself a cup, lit a joint, and said, "Happy 30th birthday."
Just to suppress the feelings again. It's a beautiful
And
journey you've been on, my friend.
I got faded. I got faded again.
It's a beautiful journey you've been on, man. Like, I don't know if I could thank you enough, dog. I know we talk often, just over the phone. And you know, when I think about mentors and the folks I call OGs, I don't have many of them to your caliber, your stature, with the recovery under your belt that can continue to school me to the game. So now I'm the copycat. You
Mm,
feel me? Like, I'd
yeah.
rather mimic, like they say, success leaves clues, right?
Mm,
So you literally laid out a blueprint for me, man. And I didn't know, kind of like with Eden, like, you know, me and you, our first conversation, bro, the energy was just like, boom.
mm.
And man, I don't, internally, how I feel, bro, like, it's like I've known you my whole damn life. You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? And you've been this, like, staple in my life for, like, the last 6 months, man. And I gratefully appreciate you, brother. Like, no
Thank
doubt.
you. Thank you. I know probably time is running out, but I wanna share a quick story with you,
Mhm.
and I think is one of my most healing things right here. I want to share with you. Um, I stopped all the acting stuff. I went back to school. I used my education. I got a job as a clinical supervisor, working in the prisons. You hear me?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
became a clinical supervisor working in the prisons.
In the same place you developed in. You went back.
Exactly. So what happened was I helped these men prepare for reentry, right? One day the bus came in. There was a birth date on there, April 2nd, 1971. I looked at the last name and said, "This can't be him. This can't be him." And I saw him get out the bus with the paper mache jumpsuit, leg irons, belly chains, and handcuffs. It was my co-defendant, the one that brought me to that way of life,
Mm,
the one I bought that bicycle lock for.
there's your
The
best
last,
friend, right?
yeah, the last time I saw him, he was on a witness stand and said, "That's DJ Verrett. That's the one you want." And he's in my jail now.
Mm.
I step back. Good night, Carolyn. I step back into the shadows. I told the correctional officer, make sure he's the last one to come into my office for an assessment. When he came inside my office, I took my glasses off, and he looked at me and was like he saw a ghost.
Full
And
circle.
I said, man, this is bizarre. This is bizarre, isn't it? And he said, yes. He's looking at me like, this is bizarre. And so I said, man, let me say something to you before we start this paperwork. I said, I need your forgiveness. And he looked at me and said, what you mean? I said, I'm sorry for what I did to you. And he looked at me and was like, the fuck you mean? He had the look on his face and he was still in shock. And I said, I'm sorry for what I did to you. I said, I'm sorry I gave you something that you could not handle the consequences, which forced you to do something you don't want to do. And I'm sorry for my part. I said, I'm sorry. I wish I could take that back. I said, that 20 years, I did it. I said, the 20 years made me, and I'm sorry for what I did to you by giving you something you couldn't handle and
Mm.
it forced you to do something you didn't want to do. I said, do you forgive me? And he said, you're asking me for my forgiveness. I said, yes. He said, for what I did. I said, it was out of fear. I said, but it's not what you did to me, it's what you did for me. I said, look where I'm sitting, man. Look where you're sitting. I said, I'm a father now. I have 2 girls. I have a good life. I survived that 20 years. I'm okay. I don't drink. I don't use no more. I'm okay. I've done amazing things in my life. And I'm sorry for what I did to you because your life has been unmanageable. I just wanted to share that with y'all.
And everything you shared has been so beautiful, man. You know, I thank you for taking your time. Get yourself together, bro. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, man. You know, your growth, your spirit, the love that you continue to spread and shine, man. Like, it radiates through this damn phone screen right now, man. I gotta get to LA, bro. I need this energy, like ASAP. You know what
See
I'm
the
saying?
airplane right there.
I'll be on the next one, Jack.
I live right by LAX. But yeah, I just want to say, Eden and Jarrod, thank you for having this platform. Thank you both for existing. Thank everybody who participated and sent a message. Much love. Changing the world. I need help. I need everybody to hear this. I need everybody to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk. You're gonna find your story in this book. You know.
Tell them how to reach you, bro.
They can go to mrdjverrett.com. You can hit me up on Instagram at Goes Low.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you order a hard copy, I'll sign it for you.
Where can we order the book, DJ?
They can go to mrdjverrett.com.
Oh, on your right, okay.
On my website, or if they go on Audible, I want this to be the bestseller on Audible. I want you to leave a comment. Go to Audible and just type in DJ Verrett and you'll see the smile. And click on that one.
Hey, bro, stop that shit.
You know, but yeah, I'm getting ready to start crying. That's why I start laughing and stuff, man.
Beautiful, man.
You know, but yeah, I would thank you for your support and thank everybody for your time to join us tonight. And if I said anything that offended anybody,
no,
I apologize. I'm fallible.
You must not have listened to us, bro.
Yeah, you don't know us.
that was rated G. That was rated G, and that was awesome, man.
But if I inspired anybody, if anybody heard anything that's inspired them, I don't take no credit for that either. That's the higher power using is coming through me. I'm just a vehicle.
Yeah, you're the vessel.
I don't control the narrative.
Yes. My God.
I love y'all, man. Ain't nothing you can do about that.
No doubt, man. And love received, bro. Love reciprocated, man. Once again, thank you for your time, Jack.
Hey, that's my sponsor right there.
Where at?
Right here, say,
hey, DJ.
Bellerman.
My sponsor. Yeah.
What's up, man?
That's Stanley.
Stanley, what up?
What's happening, Stanley? A lot of people spreading mad love to you, DJ. You know, appreciate everybody rocking with us for an hour and some change, man. We don't take time lightly. We know how important time is, and this was amazing. Eden,
Jarrod, I have
you.
a favor to ask. I know that I'm in Mexico and I didn't really get to participate, but DJ, could we do this again? Because I have so many questions coming from my perspective, and my heart was just exploding half the time listening to you that I really would and Jarrod knows me. He's like, oh no, don't let her do this.
Nah, let's do it. Let's do it. DJ, you carve out some time, bro?
My palm is down. That means yes. Palm down. Be a service, yes.
And maybe, you know, I'm in LA too, not right now, but I can come to you and then we could, you know, we'll check in with Redeem and we'll you know, we can do it together. And I might be a crying, sobbing fool, but I think so many different perspectives and walks of life. And, you know, like you said, the older 7-year-old woman was you and you were her. And so I want to get my voice in this too, because I have a lot that I want to
when you set that up, let me know. I'm hopping on the plane, G.
Yeah,
oh,
we
okay.
here, baby.
I
Done.
am in the building for that one, bro. That's electricity all over the place.
See, and everyone's like, please bring him back. Please bring him back. Jarrod, Jarrod, I will make that happen. I will actually get your ticket to come to LA.
Oh,
if
shit.
DJ
It's a
says
party.
Yes.
Fun. Done.
Yeah.
Let's
Done.
rock. Redeem Podcast Live.
Tell them to listen to that, and I want to hear their thoughts about it.
I'm gonna plug the book in a lot, bro. You know I've been sharing the hell out of it, bro.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Airplanes.
Yeah. That's me right there. I'm gonna say, yo, I'm in the building.
Yeah.
So, Jay, you set that up. You tell us when you can come, and you two set it up. I will get the ticket, provide, and we will 3 of us get together. So you tell me when. You two tell me.
We'll
Done.
We'll rap about it off of the live stream, and we'll set something up, man. You know, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, Saucy Jones.
DJ, thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys. This has
dope.
been fun. It was fun, and yeah, it's who would ever thought? Because that. Do you remember I told you, Jarrod? I made that decision to say yes. I will do this with you guys. If that decision that I made back then to the decision to Liz, it's crazy. I would have never known that when my friend Chris Kennedy Lawford, he said, DJ, how do you feel about that 20 years? That 20-year prison sentence that the federal government gave you? I told Chris, I said, you want to hear something crazy? I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the experience. That's why I look at life differently. I look at life differently because I will never watch that sunset. I will never watch that moon rise or set from behind a 40-foot wide gun tower.
Yes, sir.
I will never do that again. I will never watch the sunset from behind the gun tower.
We're not going back.
I've been doing H&I since 2009. I watched the sunset on my porch, not behind a 40-foot wall. And if anybody, and all those that's listening, I want to end with this, and I promise.
Keep talking.
What's worse? I think the prison of self-construction is worse than that 40-foot wall in that gun tower. Because we can live in $1 million house or a tent, and we're in the prison of our own making. Remember, everybody, you're perfect. The invisible part is perfect. We have to develop that part so our visible part and our visible experience is not as toxic as it once was.
Woo! Man, I wish I could hit a round of applause for you, brother, because, man, everybody just clap, because that was amazing, man. Amazing. So thank you again. We're going to set this up and keep it rocking, man. Much love and respect to you, brother. My heart is full. I'm inspired. Eden, thank you for carving out some time, you know, with your family and whatnot in order to do this. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you, everybody that tapped in and watched, man. This is going to grow, and it's going to reach people who it's intended for, man. Like, I fully believe that. So I love both of y'all.
From life in the maze to an amazing life.
Amazing life. My dog.
Love you. So much respect.
Peace. Bye-bye.
I love y'all.
I gotta call my sponsor now. Bye-bye.
Hey, call me when you finish, bro.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you soon, Eden. Love you.
I love you. Love you.
Love you.
Dude, what?
You good?
Yeah, well, you know me. Like, I'm not, if I open this gate, you and I'll flood in it. So let's just sit with what just happened. And I just have so much I want to say and so much emotion. And, you know, you can listen one thing. You could hear things and people telling you that we're perfect and that, you know, how we talk about an imperfectly perfect and the tattoos and this and that. But when someone who's been in the hole, or is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, the hole, the shoe.
For 9 months.
9 months.
And just the story tells you that, it's a whole different meaning, you know? Like, it's a whole different thing where who am I to ever belittle or betray myself, or, you know, it really puts things in a whole different perspective and a whole different light. And for you to bring him tonight, Jarrod, I mean, thank you. And now, you know me, I'm like, okay, what can we do? Who do we talk to? How do you stop the kids? What do you do?
we just do the best we can. We do the best we can, and we spread love. And that's the beauty of sobriety and recovery, is that we've been through certain phases of it. So I can see warning signs where I'm not sure if my folks could have, you know? Right. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody just does the best they can, and that's all I look out for. It's like, all right, well, I know what not to do. Like, I know how I felt. So each and every single day is a feeling check. You know, how do you feel? Like, who are you around? Who are you surrounding yourself with? But that's, you know, that's an open conversation for next week, because I definitely want you to relax and enjoy yourself in Mexico.
I love you. I love you. Thank you for doing that for all of us. We are so grateful. That was just so wonderful. And I kid you not, you plan it, I will pay for that ticket, and you will be here, and the three of us will be together. And funny, we've been trying to do this. Well, now DJ's like, all right, now it's going to happen. If it takes DJ, my new brother, straight out of, you know, prison in 19 years to get your ass to LA, I'm using it.
No doubt, right? I think he got tabs on the studio too, so we might be able to do something cool. Like, actually sit down and make something major. Whatever that opens, and for you to be in his presence as well, like I get to be part of that and watch it and be in that energy. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Go enjoy yourself. Text me tomorrow or something.
I love you, Steph. I love you. I see you.
She in the building still?
Yeah, she's right
Eden,
there.
is this sweet?
I love you. And thank you, Jarrod, for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much love and gratitude to you. Now go enjoy yourself.
Next week, please post for everyone where we can, you know, follow him, get his book, do everything, and I'll share it. And you know
most definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna plug it in tonight. I'll be up here for a little while longer. All right. Love you.
5683.
5683 to infinity, baby.
Forever.